Hey there, it's Amrit, and I'm coming to you from the summit of Pike's Peak, just outside Colorado Springs, Colorado. And you might hear some people around me talking, and that's fine because it's actually been 4.5 weeks since my stem cell treatment. And at week 3, when I was supposed to record an update, I just wasn't feeling it. The space I was in didn't feel right for recording and sharing. Then 1 month mark came and I was in transit from Arizona to Colorado and still didn't quite feel right. And now I know why. I was supposed to share this moment with you. This is absolutely one of the most beautiful places I've ever experienced. It's just completely breathtaking and mind-blowing to witness this divine creation. This is where America the Beautiful was written. The lady, last name Bates, I don't remember her first name. She came to the peak and the song came to her. She wrote it here, and I know why. Okay. I have exciting news on the progress of my knee since my stem cell treatment. So let's get to that, shall we? You know, I ended up not publishing my week 1 and week 2 updates. I just didn't like the way they turned out, and that's okay. But I did record one for week 1 and week 2. And what I'm going to attempt to do now is, in a much shorter version than those were, just give you a really nice overview. So I'm going to start with sharing what I was really challenged with in my left knee before having the stem cell treatment. So I had tweaked my knee again back in November when I was simply getting off my yoga mat off the floor. I turned a certain way and put weight on the ball of my foot to push myself up off the floor, and I didn't hear something, but I felt something that was not good. It was extremely painful, and then from that moment, I was on a downhill spiral. So the biggest challenges that I had were going up and down stairs. I could literally only go up stairs using my right leg, going up and down 1 foot at a time. The other things I was extremely challenged with were extending my leg out and then bending it back up. So for example, when I would be sitting up on my bed, and if I wanted to stretch my leg out and then bend my knee back, it would be very painful at times. I would have to make sure my leg was turned a certain way in order to bend it in, because if I didn't, my bones would rub against each other and it would be extremely painful. Other situations were walking on uneven ground was almost impossible without lots of pain. I wore a brace full time because just walking on even ground, sometimes I would take a step and it would be like stepping on a sheet of ice and your foot slips from under you. That's what it would feel like, but in my knee. And I could feel my bones slide together and it would be excruciatingly painful. So the knee brace really helped give me support so that didn't happen as often. It did still happen every now and then, but it wouldn't be as painful. Getting in and out of my car, getting up and down out of a chair, off the couch, off the toilet. I had to use my hands so that I could have my arm support to lift my weight up and down. So essentially, the big challenge was bending my knee, like squatting with weight on my left leg. I essentially could not do it. If I did, my knee like slid out of place. That's how bad it was. I'm still trying to compose myself. All right, so I had the stem cell procedure done in Bucerias, Mexico at Dream Body Clinic. A great experience. I have 2 other videos where I talk about the specific experience in Mexico and with Dream Body Clinic, which both were really great. Since I had the injection, I got 50 million stem cells injected into my knee. Within 2 days, I was completely out of my brace. I no longer felt the instability in my knee. I was still very mindful of my walking and not walking on uneven surfaces or going up and down slopes, inclines, definitely not stairs. And still, I'm still doing stairs, 1 leg at a time. I just don't think I'm quite ready yet. I don't want to push it. So I've been out of the brace since 2 days after the injection without feeling the instability. I just walked, not crazy rocks, but like there's some of this like little pathway through these rocks. I just walked through those, man, without a brace on, very carefully, very mindfully, but I did it. Yesterday, I toured Garden of the Gods on the paved pathway. There was lots of inclines up and down. I did all of that. Some of it even with Hermes, my dog, was on my back in his backpack. I was sore afterwards. My muscles were sore. That's the key thing. I had no joint pain afterwards, which is huge. I can sit in a bed or even on a couch and I can extend my leg out and bend the knee without any pain or discomfort at all. I don't have to hold the leg a certain way to do that. I can just easily bend and extend my leg. Huge improvement. I am standing up off of chairs, couches, and the toilet without using my arms to support me. Sitting down, I'm still being a little mindful. I can still feel like there's a little bit of a possibility of some slippage when I have weight on it and I'm starting down into the squat position. It definitely doesn't feel as unstable as it did before when doing that. It feels like I'm almost there. I can, however, part of one of the exercises I've added to my physical therapy is I sit in the chair and I stand up almost all the way, but not completely, and I can sit back down with weight on both legs. So essentially I'm doing like little mini squats from a sitting position, which I absolutely could not do before. I've been doing my physical therapy exercises for 3 weeks now. Definitely helped. For the first week, I only did the exercises that Dream Body Clinic recommended that I did. They told me to progress as it felt better to do so without pushing it to where I would be in pain. Not muscle pain, but joint pain. Excuse me. So that's what I did. And actually by the second week, I started to implement a lot of the physical therapy exercises that I was doing with my PT through the VA that I was doing probably for 2 months before I had the injections done. And I know doing that physical therapy beforehand really helped keep my muscles strong. Even though I was limited in my mobility, I was still able to do a lot to keep my muscles strong, and that has been hugely helpful. What else? I'm not in pain every day. I can walk. It feels good. And actually, speaking of walking, I started to notice once the mobility was coming back, I had noticed I was still walking with a limp, even though I didn't have pain. So I'd been walking with a limp, I guess, since November. And so it was just a muscle memory that I wasn't aware of until I got to a point where Hermes and I were able to go on longer walks every day. And then I noticed, I'm like, wait, why am I walking off center? I'm like, oh, I'm still walking with a limp. So then I made sure I was wearing really good shoes with great support, and I was being very mindful of every step that I was taking. And I still am, just because it's muscle memory. Once it's there and you get into an incorrect habit, it takes a lot of work to undo that habit. So, I've really concentrated on using full range of motion with my foot, with my leg, with my knee when I'm walking. Heel, toe, heel, toe. Literally what I was repeating in my head over and over for the first couple of weeks. And it feels good. No pain or discomfort. I have full range of motion while walking and doing pretty much everything. I'm starting to feel muscles that I hadn't felt in a while. So here we are, almost 5 weeks, and incredible results already. I was told that I can continue to see positive results all the way through 8 months. The peak is supposedly around 3 to 4 months. And I'm so grateful that I chose to do this instead of a knee replacement. I already feel so much better and can do so much more, and I did not have to be cut open again. So there you go. I did have an injection in my right shoulder. I've been doing the PT exercises, and I have been doing some stuff where I've been carrying Hermes on my back and lifting things in and out of my car, because I'm living out of my car right now and I have a cargo box on the roof. So I have to load and unload stuff. I've been doing that fine with no issues. I haven't really done any significant activity outside of that to really gauge if I have, how much improvement I have there. I'm trying to give it time to heal and just doing the exercises. And the main issue I had in my shoulder, I had a tendon in the front, in the rotator cuff area that was, it was really thin and about to tear. So what was happening there, when I would do activities, especially like painting or lifting heavy objects, going to the gym and doing any type of repetitive, consistent movement with my right arm, carrying Hermes on my back for any extended period of time, the muscles in my back around the scapula area would overwork to protect the instability in the front of the shoulder. And by the end of the day, it would feel like my back was on fire. It would be so painful. It would feel like an ice pick just stabbing into the scapula area. So that was the experience I was having. I was able to use the arm fine, but I would be in lots of pain several hours later that would last for days. And if it didn't loosen up, I would start to get spasms that would run up into my neck and freeze up my entire neck where I couldn't turn my head. It would be a whole big issue. So I do feel like there has been some positive results there, because like I said, I have been doing some things and I haven't felt any of that. So I'm taking that as a positive sign. And once I feel more comfortable with the leg and the knee in doing things that are more activity-wise, which 6 months is when the doctor at the stem cell treatment place told me I could go back to regular activities. So I think I'll be able to really gauge it more then. Maybe before then, if I do like some kayaking or something like that, I would be able to tell. So right now I'm in the mountains. It's cold up here. It's 48 degrees. When we entered the park at the bottom, it was 80. I'm starting to shiver a little bit now, and I'm cold, so I'm going to move my body. And yeah, thanks so much for taking this journey with me. I look forward to continue to share with you, and just know that we all have the ability to heal ourselves. And just because a doctor tells us we have to do something to get better, it's not always the truth. And not that they are giving us advice from a bad place. They're just doing what they know and what they've been taught. But there are other alternatives out here that can assist us with healing ourselves. So I'll just encourage you to make sure you do your research and look around and know that there's other options. Until next time.